Not only Gemini did a much better research and much more thorough research than ChatGPT, but there was a button that says Save to Docs. In one button, clack, it created a Google Doc for me.
Welcome to Macpreneur, the show for seasoned solopreneurs looking to streamline their business on a Mac. Unlock the secrets to saving time and money with your host and technology mentor, Damien Schroers.
Hello, today I have the pleasure to introduce Nick Garofalo. Nick is a financial planner and CFP candidate, founder of Open-Handed Wealth, where he helps Christian entrepreneurs align their finances with their faith. A longtime Apple enthusiast, Nick runs his entire advisory firm on Mac and iOS tools, from client strategy sessions to building scalable systems in Notion. Passionate about making financial planning simple, intentional, and values-driven. When he's not working with business owners, you will find him mountain biking with his kids, playing music at church, or exploring productivity hacks on his MacBook Pro. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thrilled to be here, Damien. Thanks.
Thank you for coming on the show. Let's dive into your current setup. So you have a MacBook Pro. Which model?
So I've been through a few MacBook Pros. My favorite was my 15-inch i7 I had for a few years. It was great, except it always got so hot. You could open a Word document, start typing, and it would burn your lap. But my current Mac is a MacBook Pro M2 Pro, and it is a workhorse. It's phenomenal. I mainly use it in clamshell modes, sitting right there on my desk for the most part, with a nice big, I don't have the Apple displays. They are awesome, but expensive. So I have a Lenovo 34-inch curved monitor, which is great. I can have 3 smallish windows or 2 full-size windows open. Too much screen size is overwhelming. This is a sweet spot, and I've been through 4 or 5 monitors. I've got a basic Bluetooth keyboard, and I'm a huge fan, not an Apple product, but the MX Master 3 mouse is really cool. Lots of buttons and wheels and built-in hacks. You can leverage trackpad functionality on a Mac right from the mouse. So if you're kind of a mouse fan, but you want a lot of that trackpad functionality of just, the swipe functions. I have an iPad Pro with the keyboard and pencil. I don't use it as much as I used to, and I thought I would really use it like sidecar a lot, but I find that like the smaller screen, I'm debating getting a monitor extender, one of those portable screens, and a desktop screen stand for like $10 off Amazon, and then using that kind of as like a hybrid, like I don't really want to work off my laptop, but I need more space, but I don't want to go to my main office kind of setup for like coffee shops or something like that. So I have more screen space. I could still run it in clamshell mode. It's portable. My phone is my webcam, and it's a great camera.
I'm using my iPhone 14 Pro Max as the camera now to record this episode.
It's such a great hack.
Even though my iMac has 1080p built-in webcam, because it's still the Intel processor, it doesn't have the nice features of portrait, the bokeh effect. I'm using also the Studio Light. This helps a little bit for people on YouTube.
Yeah, Studio Light. I have 2 softbox lights. Studio Light's good. Without the light, there's not enough, especially in this room. Adding lights and turning Studio Light on does a lot to just help for video.
Yeah, exactly. I have the Elgato Mini light, and they repurposed an iPhone clamp. This Elgato Mini light is so small, I can clamp it. It's slightly larger than a big iPhone and pointing upwards towards the ceiling. At the beginning, was pointing towards me, and the reflection.
Your lighting looks really good. A lot of people have a hard time with lighting. I have a background in photography, so I have deep respect for what light can do. A lot of people don't get light. It's really hard to nail your lighting. And so actually I think yours looks really good.
If I turn it off, it looks like this.
Check it out.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing out if you experiment.
It just look like you went into the dark, man.
Very good. What are your favorite Mac applications to run your business?
Okay, so this is a tough one because most of the apps I need for my business are not Mac only. Most of them are web apps. So I use Wealthbox as my CRM, Right Capital is my financial planning software. I have a variety of other software programs that I kind of layer on top of that, like QuickBooks for bookkeeping. I custody through Altruist. I use Calendly and stuff like that. So like a lot of my apps are not Mac only. I have a couple of those, and other apps I love. Spotify has a great app for a music a music person, or and they now have audiobooks included. It's fantastic. I love the mini player. They nailed it. I'm not even an Apple Music fan. I love the Spotify app. I do everything in Chrome, all the extensions. It's really good. The iPhone app is terrible. The teleprompter app is phenomenal. It's free. So if you ever have to record content and you need it scripted, but you still want to read along, the teleprompter app for your phone, iPad, or Mac is free for general use. They charge for advanced features, but it's a great app. Radio Silence is a Mac-only app. You can toggle on or off a particular application's internet access. So I'll get to why I have that in a second. I do all of my editing in Descript, and I see we're in Squadcast here, so I know you also are a Descript user. Photography, I do Lightroom. Obviously, that is not an Apple only. In fact, Adobe and Apple were not friends for a long time, but Lightroom is, a great photo editing platform. Clockify for time tracking has been really great. And they also have screen recording enabled, I think for Mac only, but you can do it'll watch your screen basically for you and then kind of evaluate your productivity. A little scary depending on your threshold for access you want to grant to an app, but it's a cool feature and they've got robust security. Why do I have radio silence? I got this app called Recurse Chat, which is a local offline LLM chat tool. So you can download a language model of your choice. It comes stock with a handful. I don't really know how to download an LLM. I tried and tripped my way through it. I'm good with what's already here. I was curious if it was true. Honestly, I was wondering if it was legit that Recurse Chat was really not going out to the internet for anything. So I got radio silence and I cut off Recurse Chat's access to the internet. And sure enough, it was a fully local copy. No data was leaving my device. Pretty cool. I forgot to mention my top two. The top two are Notion and a new favorite, Folk, which is an AI-powered email CRM prospect management tool. Notion is where I have built a whole second brain with pages, articles, clips, content management, Gantt chart workflows, and databases. I got into it and I was like, I don't even know what to do with this app. It's such a sandbox. I didn't use it much at first. And then I kind of made myself watch a couple of their videos. I was like, let me just see kind of how they're doing this. I think it could work. And man, it really is an incredible tool, and it's free. And they just keep making it better.
In Notion, do you keep a record of activities, or is it your CRM? So what do you use Notion for mainly?
I tried to make it do more than it was built to. I wanted it to be a CRM, but if I geeked out with Zapier or Make, I think I could have made it work. But there's so much that needs to be automatically updated. I mean, for example, if I email you and I'm like, hey, Damien, it was great to be on the show. Thanks so much. I want to follow up in a month. I don't want to have to go in and manually check. Everything's manual in Notion. And so I needed some automation to see when did I last email Damien and make sure that that's not a manually populated field. And it was. So Notion is mainly for notes, for content management. I clip articles and resources straight from Chrome. Brainstorming, blog creation, content creation. I love to go into Notion and brain dump, organize, sort, categorize, tag, and filter. It's my go-to for note-taking of any kind.
I'm not using Notion nowadays. I was part of a non-profit a few years ago teaching kids how to program, how to code, and we were doing also a little bit of robotics kind of thing. The founder of that non-profit organization really loved Notion. So everything, we were tracking the training sessions, the attendees, and he had so elaborate tables, right? So I recall we had those giant databases. The power of Notion was the different filtered views. For when I was an instructor, I could quickly filter out just my pupils for the session. It was easy to mark them as absent or present. Then I stopped being involved with that. In the meantime, I've heard about Notion AI. Have you played with that?
I want to like it more than I do. There's a Reddit thread about how Notion's AI is not nearly as good as the other AI offerings. So if you're already paying for an AI tool, a ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, you don't need Notion's AI on top of that. The benefit I see of Notion AI is being able to build the tool in Notion for you to save you some time of hey, I want a database and here's what I want to track in it. And it will just whoosh the magic into existence for you. But that doesn't really take much time. It's not that much of a time saver. Maybe it's going to save me 30 minutes when I make it. But how often am I making some complex database? Where I really want an AI in my current Notion workflow is I want to be able to take loads of notes into a client. Let's say, Damien, you're a client of mine, and every time we jump on a call, I'm going to take notes on what we talked about, where we left stuff. These are takeaways. I really would love a living summary of the status of our relationship, current outstanding action items, current projects, current things we're working on. It would read everything in the existing page or database and give me a helpful summary. I could see that per client page or database. I don't really think it's there. And I can't find out because you only have 10 credits for free ever, and then you have to start paying for it. So I don't know. I'm interested to try. Notion's got a couple other tools that they just launched. I mean, the Notion Calendar has been out for a while, and now Notion Mail. I'm really intrigued. I think I might have to give Notion Mail a try, but it would have to be pretty amazing and easy compared to Gmail for me to consider switching.
Yeah, we talked in the pre-show that we both are Google Workspace users. Yeah, I would say I would have a hard time going away from Gmail and Google Workspace.
Right?
It's for managing my domain.
Yeah, the Gmail email search is so good. It's hard to imagine leaving it. I could never get used to Outlook. Even Apple Mail. I love Apple Mail for being simple, even though they haven't touched it in 15 years hardly. But the search has always been bad. And Gmail search is just really, really good. So, yeah, it'd be hard to leave that.
I really like the security features. Anti-malware scanning plus spam detection is pretty good. I still visit the spam folders, but nowadays it's rare that an important email...
It's so rare that anything spam is actually legitimate. Yeah. The connection with Gmail, the app and the calendar and tasks, because if you used Google Tasks, which I don't, but I thought about it, they have a new thing now where in a calendar event, you can take meeting notes from the calendar event and add tasks to your Google Tasks right from the Google Doc. It makes me think about switching over because it's all connected, and then you have Gemini layered on top of that, which we were talking a little bit pre-show too. Like the built-in Gemini tools are not awesome, but give it a year. I'm sure they'll get better.
I respectfully disagree, and I want to go. I have a new section in the show, the AI segment. I'm introducing that, so it's a perfect segue that we were talking about Gemini. To actually continue on that conversation, I'm using Gemini more if you have Google Workspace, a Google Workspace for business. So there is a starter plan. This one has limited access to Gemini inside the application, so inside Gmail, but not in Sheets, Docs, and Drive. Starting from the next plan, you have full access to Gemini, including Gemini app. The Gemini app is available at gemini.google.com. Nick, you have to try Gemini 2.5 and deep research. You have to try that because I use it not later than this afternoon, and I'm thinking of starting to offer remote training services to the US, Canada, and the UK, really internationally. From a tax perspective, it's a nightmare. I use deep research both in ChatGPT and Gemini, and I can tell you the deep research, the document generated by Gemini was much better. So
what was your prompt?
My prompt was, I'm a Luxembourg-based IT service provider, IT training provider. So based in Luxembourg, I want to provide services in the US, UK, and Canada. And I wanted to know in terms of, from the tax perspective, right? Am I liable to pay sales tax? Is the service I'm providing taxable? What's the status if I do B2B versus B2C? And not only Gemini did a much better research and much more thorough research than ChatGPT, but there was a button that says Save to Docs. It created a Google Doc for me. That was like, and then
yeah, that's nice.
I asked it, can you make a table to sort each state by is it taxable, yes or no? And because I discovered something called economic nexus. So even though I'm based in Luxembourg, I don't
You'll have
I
Nexus
might
in all these
have
other places.
economic nexus in certain states, and depending on revenue, I might apply for a tax number and so on. And I ask it to create a table to sort the states by the most attractive, from my point of view, to the least attractive, with different columns. Not only is created that, but there was a button, Save to Sheet. And I could immediately put that in a Google Sheet. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm used to copying and pasting from ChatGPT over to Notion. It can write natively and mark down really, really well and handles formatting nicely. But I already feel some disconnect because as soon as I pull it out of ChatGPT and put it over into Notion, well, now it's not actually exposed to an AI anymore, which is both good and bad, right? But like, I can't go ask Gemini, hey, pull those files on such and such research project we were doing. And, you know, it's been 6 months, refresh my memory. I'm sure Gemini would do a great job at that.
I think they have winning combo now with Gemini integrated into Google Workspace. Not only in Google Sheets or Google Docs, I can reference another document, but in the standalone Gemini app, I can start a prompt and reference an email. So I can say at Gmail and list emails based on this Google Doc 1, Google Doc 2, Google Doc 3. Can you, and it's unbelievable, right? I can reference any document from within Gemini. From Gemini, you can say, summarize the latest 10 emails. I did that once. The latest 10 emails from school. It filtered out the email.
Now, was school a
No.
folder? Was there any context that someone would have known, like, hey, this
So
is
I
a school
said-
email?
So I said, my daughter is at the European School in Luxembourg. I said, please summarize the last 10 emails from the European School of Luxembourg. But I did not specify the domain.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
natural language.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm in Gemini right now, and I'm looking. There's 2.0 Flash, 2.5 Flash experimental, and 2.5 Pro experimental.
Pro.
What's the difference between Pro and Flash?
2.5 Pro is more thorough than 2.5 Flash.
Let's see. It says advanced reasoning versus complex
2.0
tasks.
Pro is, in my mind, better than 01 Mini. Much better than 4.0 for sure, but when I looked at 01 Mini, yes, I think it's better than 01 Mini. I haven't tested the latest 03 of ChatGPT, which at the time of recording were released very recently. So maybe when it will air, it will not be the case anymore, but no, it's pretty competitive AI.
It's almost scary how quickly this business cycle has gone. In economics, you have a business cycle of ideation, innovation, growth, approaching scale, and businesses streamline and consolidate. Then you move through that phase into decline, but the decline is really just the larger companies buying out the smaller. There's not really new startups because everything's been now standardized and commodified. And these 6 companies do it better than anybody. And that's why car manufacturing is not a business you just waltz into as an entrepreneur, but software can be. So it's interesting to see consolidation under the Google suite, because now you can have tasks, docs, sheets, slides, mail. I'm sure there's lots more, but those are the top 5 or 6 probably.
Integrated with Google Form as well.
Forms, all of that connected now through Gemini. From the prompt box at gemini.google.com, you can reference anything in your workspace.
Yeah, they're also pretty good for business users. Google Workspace for business. They claim, and I trust them, that they don't use my data to train the model. For me, that's very important. At the time of recording, I just released 2 episodes that were solo shows, but also AI audio overviews generated by NotebookLM. NotebookLM is another gem of Google. Have you played with NotebookLM?
I have. It's been a little while. When I was playing with it, it looked as official as a garage startup from the early 2000s. It was funny, like, wait, this is a Google product, right? I struggled to pick what I upload. There were restrictions. I tried to throw in the Harvard Business Review article, and it blocked that. I didn't really think about the paywall, but you can't submit that. I appreciated that it didn't work for what I was trying to do there. But yeah, I tried it with a couple other things. Some articles by Michael Kitces on finance stuff. And it was interesting. I was talking with a friend about NotebookLM. He's studying for the CFP exam, the financial planner exam. He's going through a review course for the exam, and he's got all these PDFs, right, of the books probably like 1,000 pages of content or textbook material. I didn't. My review course, it was all like locked into this like private, ebook platform, which is really not ideal. With the PDFs, he's able to upload those to NotebookLM and then listen to, to AI bots chatting about whatever's in the review course. But what I told him in my limited experience with it almost a year ago, it sounded flat. It sounded still a bit, and I paused because I said, I have to acknowledge, this is so cool. What a cool moment to be alive. Like, this is really super, super cool technology. But I found it hard to follow the train of thought, is the way I said it to him. And I said, I think it's because there's not a train of thought. There's not a thought train in the person's mind that I'm following. It's just regurgitated content. But that was months ago and it was still helpful. I found it difficult to follow along. I probably need to go back and try it again. I've got a Notion database full of articles I want to read, webinars I want to watch, YouTube videos or shorts that I am saving or clipping for later when I have time. It would be nice if I could listen to a 5-10 minute summary of those when I have time driving or working out. If one piques my interest, then I'll invest 30 minutes to read it. I get 30 emails a day of articles, resources, and webinars. There's not enough time to filter through it all, but I would love a tool to layer on top of Notion to prioritize what matters most.
Yeah, with a paid Google Workspace for business account, we have a much higher limit in terms of how many projects we can create, how many notebooks we can create, and sources we can have per notebook. It's much bigger than the free version. It has improved dramatically. And the audio overview is much better. It's still not 100%. Sometimes the first try is okay. Other times I have to redo, so delete the audio overview and then try again. But what has been much improved, so there are two big features that they've introduced. The first one, you can, before you generate the audio overview, you can hear the conversation. So I gave it all the episodes of season 4, 13 or 16 episodes. Before I generated the audio overview, I said, please extract the key takeaways from episode 80 through 84. And they did that. And I also asked them, and please refer to me as refer to yourself as the host assistant and refer to me or refer to him as Damien. They did it.
Okay, a couple things you've enlightened me to. I recently upgraded my Google Workspace. Didn't realize I had all of the now Plus, Pro, etc. features of these other platforms. So NotebookLM Plus or NotebookLM, when I looked at it a year ago, I was on the starter Google business account. The free plan, it was not very impressive a year ago. NotebookLM Plus, it looks a lot more polished. I didn't realize I already had access to it within my account, which is a great point for any listener. If you've upgraded any of your memberships to things like Google, Squarespace, Apple, any broad subscription platforms, you might have new features you don't know about. Always worth checking. But yeah, that's great. And I also have Gemini, Advanced. I didn't realize. So, man, dang it. Thanks. Appreciate it. I'll be checking this out later.
Yeah. The other question for NotebookLM, did you upload, so you gave it episodes, whatever, like 10 to 13 or 1 to 13. When you said reference 80 to 84, did you give it those episodes or link to your podcast show? How did it find those? Every episode I export the transcript in text file. So I uploaded the transcript in text for each episode. And NotebookLM had a separate text file for each episode. And the text files were named like MP080, MP081. So they had the episode number in the name and potentially inside. I must have mentioned also the episode number. And also, in the special instruction that I gave them before they created the audio overview set, I told them explicitly, please refer to the episode. And then I said macpreneur.com/episode and the number. I gave an example and they did that. During the audio overview, they said, okay, let's talk about episode 83 and you can find it at macpreneur.com/episode and the number 83. I was like, wow.
That's
a new feature. I tried it. I was not really impressed. It's the possibility to interrupt them when they are going through. You give a prompt, it takes a few minutes to generate the audio, you play the audio, but now you have a way to interrupt them, ask them a question, and they will actually, it takes a second or two, but then they answer you. They consider you a listener to their show.
Like a live listener.
We're taking a call from a live listener, and they actually change. So again, based on the source data, the information that they have as a source, plus your question, they will try to answer as best they can.
Wow, really interesting. I would definitely check that out.
Very good. Apart from NotebookLM or Google Workspace or Gemini, what maybe other aha moments have you had recently? So a tip or a trick that you discovered, either we could be about AI, but it could be also about your Mac.
So two things, actually. The first aha moment was that when you're on a MacBook or MacBook Pro, I think it's F5 or F6. I don't have it open in front of me, but I think it's F6, has the do not disturb toggle.
Yeah.
I thought it was a sleep button, like to put the computer to sleep, which I always thought was kind of silly because you just close the lid or just, push the little finger scan button to lock it. So, if you open your laptop and you're flooded with 5 notifications, a reminder, a calendar alert, and 3 text messages, push the F6 button and they all disappear. You don't have to click through to X out all those, because that is kind of annoying on the Mac interface that they stay there until you touch them. It's nice to just, there you go, do not disturb, and they're gone. You don't have to go up to the top right corner and click, toggle which focus mode you want, F6, and they're gone. That was a fun little aha moment. This is not recent at all, but foundational for me was customizing the Mac trackpad gestures. 3-finger drag has to be my favorite, and it is staggering to me how many people have no idea that this is an option. They hit it really, really obscure now, like deep within the accessibility features. Just, go to where you would click to drag and just drop 3 fingers on the trackpad, move it around. And when I do this in real time, it's funny how many people stop me. What did you just do? How'd you do that so fast? It's a funny thing. But yeah, that's definitely a game changer for me.
Something I do every time I have a new Mac, or when I help someone who just installed a Mac OS, or they have they set up their first Mac. I go to the trackpad and I hit tap to click because that's annoying to be obliged to.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that customizes someone else's Mac to my spec. I've done that more times than I can count. Like, I don't know how you work on this thing with push to click and then click to drag. No, there's so much great functionality built into the trackpad. Thanks for making me feel less like the only person who does that.
Very good. So we're almost at the end of the show. If you were in charge of the Mac division at Apple, what would be your first priority, whether it's on the hardware side or the software?
I gave this a lot of thought, Damien, because my hope is that someone listens and goes, Nick is right, we should improve this feature. For years, I have wished Spotlight was better. And I think it has to do with the file structure of how Macs actually store files, that for some reason it just can't be better than this. But when I was on a Windows machine for my prior job, my brother, who's an avid Mac user, avid just technology geek, he's taught me everything I know and knows way more than I ever will about all this. But he sent me a software called Everything by Void Tools. It is the single most amazing find any file anywhere, anytime program, and it is only for Windows. I think it has to do with the file structuring between the two operating systems. Google Drive, Dropbox, and iCloud Drive should all be searchable. External drives, NAS, extra hard drives or backups, all of your data and files should be searchable within Spotlight. You can search contacts, you can do math equations, you can, pull up contacts or even search the internet and get definitions. There's so many great features baked in, but my goodness, if you're trying to find a file that's not in the file structure, it is terrible. And how much time I've wasted, and even when you're within the Finder window, being able to copy the path and paste it somewhere else is way too many keystrokes. So anyway, those are things I love about Windows Explorer and the tool on Windows that kills me on a Mac because I've had to find workarounds and they're not nearly as good. So That's what I would say. We need to fix this.
Have you tried Raycast?
No, I've tried several. I tried Alfred. It was okay. It just, I don't know. Is it something with Alfred I found difficult to
It
use?
didn't stick with me, but Raycast did. Raycast has a much better file search capability than Spotlight. Faster than Spotlight. When I do command space and search for a file, it takes a second or two before Spotlight returns anything. And I was like, come on.
I know. No.
It's much faster. So Raycast, I haven't replaced command space. It's still Spotlight, but for me, it's option space for Raycast. I type F for file search. I do S, enter, and start typing. It's very fast and much better than Spotlight for finding stuff. Raycast had a better and faster note search. I know you live in Notion. I live in Apple Notes for most of my documents. And it's a pain to find something in Apple Notes, but not from Raycast.
Yeah.
I think Raycast has a dedicated index, and Spotlight wants to do too many things at the same time. Because the index is for contacts, for mails, for notes, for shortcuts, for a lot of things, and it's a big index.
It's trying to do so much when you
Exactly.
type something. It takes 3 seconds, but with Raycast, you type F, enter, so it knows. I'm just looking for a file.
And it looks,
thing.
and in my experience, my main partition, data partition, index is all the local partitions, even the connected drive. So maybe give.
Do you use the free plan
I
or
use
pay?
And with the free plan, you can do a lot. The reason they have a paid plan is if you want to synchronize your configuration, your Raycast setup between computers, then you have to pay the subscription. And if you want to use the built-in AI features, same thing, it's a paid option. I've been using Raycast for free for a few years, and what it offers for free is very good.
That's interesting. Notion has a dedicated keyboard search as well. I can hit Command-Shift-K, and it will pull up my Notion search box. The search is phenomenal. I mean, I can type in just about anything, and it's really, really good, really, really fast. Google Drive, I also have Command-Alt-G to pull up my Google Drive search. So I have 3 searches depending on what I'm looking for. But again, it's like kind of like with Raycast, where it's like, well, if I know I'm looking for a file in Google Drive, sometimes there's a question of like, okay, is this in Drive or iCloud Drive? I don't remember. But for the most part, everything I do, especially work-wise, is always going to be in Google Drive. So again, the Google Drive search is kind of laggy. Nothing's perfect, but it's really good. And at least that way, I'm kind of narrowing down like, okay, am I looking for a note, something in Notion, something in Google Drive, or just something anywhere else? But yeah, Raycast, I'll check that out.
They have built-in window management support. In Raycast, you can define keyboard shortcuts for everything. Every extension can be customizable through keyboard shortcuts. And so I have configured Shift Control and then up arrow to have top half. No, top arrow is full screen. Down arrow is back to what it was. Right arrow, half right. Left arrow, left half of the screen. And then I have configured 4 keys in a kind of a square, 2 by 2 matrix. And the top left is the quadrant of the screen, top right. And so I can have 4 windows on my iMac, and boom, 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 they are all positioned in a corner.
No, that's nice. With the new, I think it's came out in whatever the one before the current OS versions.
Yeah, now Apple is that
Sequoia.
built-in.
They do the window snapping. I used Rectangle for a long time. Rectangle was just a window snapping software keyboard shortcut. You could throw it to different corners because that's something that Microsoft and the PC has done really well for a long time, that I got really used to being able to just throw windows from the keyboard. I don't mind clicking and dragging. Now, if you hold the Alt key when holding a window, it will really quickly default, like it'll pull up the. So currently, if you're on your Mac in the Chrome window, you drag it to the left side. You have to hold it for a second before it snaps. Windows, it's instant. Well, if you want it to be instant on Mac, just hold the Alt key. And you can literally click and throw the window to the left side, throw it to the right side, and it'll snap half and half.
Good to know.
So I ended up deleting Rectangle because I was like, I don't need this anymore, I guess. So, yeah.
Very good. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, if you want to know more about me or what I do in financial planning, Open-Handed Wealth is my company. I'm the founder and financial planner there. So openhandedwealth.com. And I have some free gifts for your listeners, Damien, as well, if anybody is interested. But openhandedwealth.com/freebies has just a handful of gifts. My gift to you and to your listeners for anyone looking to save on taxes, streamline their budget, or align their investments. I offer free consultations. Please mention that you came from the Macpreneur show. It'd be fun to connect.
Well, you put that in the show notes for the listener to check it out. Well, thank you very much, Nick, for being on the show.
It's my pleasure. This is a great chat. I love geeking out about anything tech or Mac related. I really like your show, so I'm honored to be here. It's a lot of fun. I've listened to quite a few episodes and find them educational and insightful. Thanks for what you're doing, and keep up the great work.
And so for the listeners, if like Nick, you would like to share how you are using your Mac to run your solopreneur business, it's simple. Just visit macpreneur.com/apply. If you are already on Podmatch, just click on the button and you will land on the show profile. Otherwise, you can fill the application form and I will get back to you within a few days. Once again, it's macpreneur.com/apply. In the comments below, please share your main takeaway from this episode. And if not done yet, please subscribe to my channel so you will get more helpful tips on how to run your business on your Mac. And until next time, I'm Damien Schoss, wishing you a great day.
Thank you for watching the Macpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a comment and share it with a friend right now.